So having discussed that the data in data warehouse is represented using a multidimensional data model, we can now revisit the OLAP operations. Earlier, we have talked about the roll up and drill down, and today we're going to talk a few more typical OLAP operations. Roll up is done by climbing up the hierarchy, for example, from week to month, from month to quarter, or by remove some dimensions. So earlier we have seen examples here by removing a dimension, for example, by removing date and the country dimension, we can have here summarized data just by product, how many product has been sold, right? We don't care about countries, we don't care about date. If we just remove one date dimension, then we will have different country cell number for different product. So by pre-computing all those cuboids, we can the OLAP system can readily answer those questions, the roll-up questions. Drill down is just a reverse of roll-up. It's by climbing down the lower level of the hierarchy or by introducing new dimensions, right? So from the earlier example that we can see, if we move from the most aggregate value, we can move to those three. Those are less aggregated. We have more information about either product or country or date. We can drill down even more by introducing the date dimension. And now we have sales, and this is sales by sales in the first quarter in USA, sales in the second quarter in USA, sales in the third quarter in USA. And we can move up to from the orange to the white. Then we have more specific information, sales of PC in the second quarter in this first row would be US. So this block represents sales of PC in the second quarter in US, right? So by introducing more dimensions or climbing up the hierarchy, for example, we can from PC, we can climb up to different brand names of PC, whether it's Apple or I don't know, ThinkPad, Lenovo, whatever, different brand names, okay? So, and the two other operations that we want to introduce is slice and dice. Those are basically projection and select. It's very much like the SQL statements. So slice, the difference between slice and dice is slice, the condition is involving only one dimension, and dice, you have your selection conditions involving more than one dimension. So we can look at some example here. Let me, okay. Oh, so here we have location, time, and item. Here we dice for, so our condition involves location, time, and item, and we carve out a little a subcube from this large cube. And the slice, on the other hand, is just our query involves one condition. We're taking a slice on the time dimension, so we only have this layer. Location and item dimension, now because we have time, only involves quarter one, right? Okay. So pivot 3, I'll focus this. Pivot is just a operation that reorient the cube. It could, in terms of a two-dimensional thing, transpose the matrix. Is considered pivot. Rotate the cube. Visualize. Divide 3D to series of 2D planes. Those are all considered pivot. It's just a different view of the data from different perspective. In this example, a pivot operation is just to transpose this one slice from location by item to item by location matrix. So in order to support, let me try to reorient this a little more. Okay. So in order to support the roll-up and other OLAP operations, a conceptual model for the query is introduced in the textbook. It's called StarNet query model. In the past, I often have students confuse the StarNet query model with the star schemas, the snowflake schemas, and the schemas used to construct tables within a data cube. Those two are two very different things. The data schema are the templates or the model that you can use to fit your data, to organize your data, the real data pieces in data cube. A StarNet query model is simply a conceptual model. It's how we view our dimensions, that we can actually draw every dimension on this two-dimensional space. And for every dimension, we noted their value here. And some dimensions form a hierarchical structure, concept hierarchy, as we can see along the organization line, along the location line, along the timeline. Some others may or may not form. For example, shipping method, air press, and truck are just two different disjoint way of shipping. By drawing this in a two-dimensional space, we can help us to see what kind of queries are possible and how we can use this dimension with conceptual hierarchy to support roll-up and drill down operations. So this query model is totally, it doesn't affect how data is organized. It's once the data is being organized, we'll see how our current data organization can best support user queries. Okay. That's the point that I want to make, so that it's clear that we don't confuse this two. Okay, this is going to conclude this short video.